shields in Broken Mirror 3 have provided some challenges for us all along in their development, and so I'll outline some of those for you right now. Currently, Broken Mirror 3 is utilizing two types of shields, the bubble shields and the skin shields. Originally, everything was going to be bubble shields around the ships, and I'll explain why in a moment. Upon a user's suggestion, though, we've started implementing what we call skin shields, as seen in Star Trek Nemesis on, like, the Enterprise E. So how are the shield effects achieved? Well, right now, the bubble shields are simply a sphere model that are around the ship, and they're kind of scaled to fit, and they have a texture on them, and then when they detect an impact, they illuminate the entire shield. We implemented skin shields on the Sovereign class ship, and probably what we'll do is we will not implement those on all ships, but only on certain key ships. The reason being is that skin shields require a whole new model be built, and it's not as simple as throwing in a sphere. We actually have to take the model of whatever ship we want the skin shield, so in this case the Sovereign, and we have to basically model an outer shell of the Sovereign to fit. You simply can't scale up the Sovereign model because that scales on a global axis in the center of the model, which means things like the nacelles will be way off their target. A challenge that we encounter when building skin shields is the amount of precision needed. It seems that even when you build a new model right around the old model, when you bring that into Unity, it's still not quite perfect for some reason. So you have to have a little bit of breathing room, which means the skin shields aren't quite as tight as you'd see them in a movie like Nemesis. Very originally, the shields were actually particle effects that were essentially at the end of a phaser blast or torpedo blast or something, and they'd only be called up when a phaser impacted on the shield colliders. And this was a localized impact effect, and we weren't quite happy with it. What we were trying to do, of course, was this effect like you'd see in something like the Next Generation, where if a phaser blast hit a shield, it would only illuminate the area around where the phaser hit, not the entire shields. Unfortunately, we've had to opt out for the entire shields being illuminated. It does look better because now we are able to have bubble shields and skin shields because of this effect. We have two different types of colliders too. With the bubble shields, they would have been less render and CPU intensive simply because it's one prefab that's applied to all ships, and it just uses sphere colliders to detect when an impact has occurred. With the skin shields, on the other hand, every poly basically becomes its own collider, and it's detected through this mesh, which means it's now calculating for every poly that's on the skin model, which does add to the render time, which is one of the main reasons why we will not be implementing skin shields on every ship. So probably only the key combat ships such as Sovereigns, Akiras, maybe Negvars or something like that. Okay, well, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into how shields are created. Remember, if you want to see more of our development logs, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we're also posting short clips of the game's progress, so you get to see things like explosions and shield impacts, like I've just mentioned.